Audio logs from the abyss. Today we are going to be discussing a cryptid, or more accurately, an urban legend, one spoken rarely of, and supposedly cited even less so. In truth, a story that has gone from, oh, my father told me about this, to, oh, my grandfather told me about this, or my great-grandfather told me about this, all the way down the line to, my great-grandfather's cousin's friend told me about this. And to the modern age is more of a, hey, I heard this story from an old man at a pub, but I'm pretty sure he's blowing smoke out his ass. Of course, today we're speaking of the such and such. Yes, the creature's name is just the such and such. The such and such. Supposedly haunting towns and villages around the northeastern American coastline, around Maine down to the Carolinas, Pennsylvania, thereabouts. Mostly up by Maine and Vermont and New Hampshire. Okay. The such and such is supposedly a land-dwelling octopus. This creature would hide out in the forests around small villages. Why it had to stay near the coastline is anyone's guess. I would imagine maybe it had to lay its eggs in the water. Nothing in the actual stories really says why, other than it's just near these small villages. The such and such, however, was a kind of mimic. It would track down people who had passed out in the forests, apparently drawn to the smell of alcohol, attacking drunkards who had passed out just outside of town, off the trail, where it would bite a hole in their bodies, crawl inside, and control them like a puppet. The creature would then wander into town wearing their bodies. For no apparent reason, this is the kind of story from the late 1800s, early 1900s that didn't really go much into a lore, as a modern story would. However, one could hazard a guess it was scoping out its next victim, as it wasn't just controlling the body, it was eating it. Eventually it would be just skin, and then it would be trying to hide its octopus body from prying eyes with clothing. So the such and such, though, had a kind of a giveaway. It couldn't control the body very well. I mean, it is eating the body. So it would kind of shamble about, willy-nilly, the arms bending the wrong way, the legs bending the wrong way, the head swiveling about, just looking drunk. One could guess the story was originally invented to scare children from going near the crazy homeless man who was wandering out of the bushes next to the general store, or to dissuade them from getting drunk so they wouldn't pass out and wouldn't get eaten by an octopus. These old stories tend to be kind of strange that way. And that is pretty much all there is to say about the such and such. It is drunken grandpa's crazy-ass story to tell the kids about an octopus that eats and wears people. The end.